Hello, my name is Sean Owens, and this is the oral defense for the final paper for PS 625, Analyzing Anti-Americanism. The professor is Dr. Matthew Croston, Bellevue University ISIS program, and the title of my article is Who Hates America the Most and Does It Matter? So the first thing we have to look at when trying to answer these particular questions is what is determined or what is defined by the term hate. So I take a qualitative and quantitative approach to look at polling numbers and survey data along with the metric of the social protest evident. Is there a reflection in the policy or at least the formal statements originating from the government as well? And then we must define what does it mean by matter. Is there an impact on people, the government, the policies? In other words, the overall implications of the hate have impact on what is currently going on between the two countries or what is going to happen currently or what is going to occur between the two countries moving forward. We must look at this from the perspective not only of the United States being the target of the hate, also from the country, in this case Pakistan, we define as having the most hatred. Does this have an implication or an impact on them? Does it matter to Pakistan as well? And then finally, briefly touch on anti-Americanism as a general phenomenon in this paper, briefly because there's already been a lot of research and writing covering this particular topic at great depth, but I wanted to use what has already been written as basically a frame for the current negative sentiment in Pakistan today to apply some historical context to explain why it's occurring and even growing. So the first question is why Pakistan? There are a number of other countries that should and could be included in the argument of who hates America the most based upon high disapproval ratings. Countries like Iran, Egypt, China, Russia, Venezuela, and even Greece all have some of the highest levels of anti-American sentiment based on non-approval polling data that's been done in those countries. However, when looking specifically at whether or not the people of those countries view the United States as a foe or a threat, when looking at whether there has been social protests in those countries towards the United States, and if there's been tangible policy alterations or concessions based upon this negative sentiment, we can elevate Iran and Pakistan to the top of this list of who currently hates the United States the most. Based on sampling of looking at younger and higher educated population within Iran and even some of the recent diplomatic agreements between the nations, an argument can be made that there is reason to be more optimistic about relations between the United States and Iran in the future than there is even between the United States and Pakistan. Currently in Pakistan, we see that 74% of the population identifies the United States as a foe or threat. This covers all, or is consistent across all demographic groups of age and education. We do see social protests originating in Pakistan targeting the United States, and we do see policy implications. We've seen the sharing of intelligence data from Pakistan and the United States has decreased. We see military cooperation between the two countries has decreased. So all of this links creates to why Pakistan was chosen as a country that hates America the most. So when we look at some of the historical and current issues that are driving the anti-Americanism in Pakistan, we do see good examples of the episodic theory of anti-Americanism. We see that specific events and sentiment in the past drive low approval ratings, and when those issues cease or have resolved themselves, the sentiment has experiences a positive bounce. However, when new episodes like the drone strikes occur, the historical emotions tend to fire back up, and we see anti-Americanism and negative sentiment toward America grow. So historically, what is this based on? Primarily where the United States has sided on the Pakistani-India conflict, support or lack of support for Pakistan Kashmir, support or lack of support for the Pakistani nuclear program, an overall feeling of the Pakistani people that the United States has used Pakistan for its own benefit historically. And then when we look at the current issues, there really is a high correlation between the United States drone strikes that occur in Pakistan and the cross-border military incursion led by the United States. These events are viewed as threats to Pakistan's sovereignty and also undermining their authority, and people of Pakistan view this as an endangerment to their way of life and to their city. So looking at possible prescriptions that originate from the academic world, from scholars and analysts, also looking at this is where positive pro-American sentiment is high. We see there's four potential prescriptions for mitigating the particular anti-Americanism sentiment currently in Pakistan. First is trade diplomacy or soft power, as Joseph and I would define. The increasing the awareness and the visibility of U.S. action to Pakistan people, sharing of facts and improving personal relations, always to increase positive sentiment towards the origin country. And to do this, must ensure the truth, not modified or malicious data is shared, as some organizations are wanting to use maybe facets of the facts or their own version of the facts to increase or leverage the anti-American sentiment in Pakistan for their own benefit. And if scholars and analysts get the primary way to end this current hatred for America would be to simply the United States drone strikes on Pakistan. So when we look at what does matter from the perspective of the United States, first and foremost, the drone strikes probably won't stop anytime soon. The United States finds it to be an extremely effective and safe way to battle terrorism. They continue to make arguments towards the legality and the benefit of the drone strikes. And next, we look at Pakistan really doesn't have much to offer the United States as we wanted. Pakistan does have a large amount of natural resources, but it has very poor access to those resources and very poor management of those resources. There's really very little return economically for the United States that Pakistan has the way it has offered via trade. In tradition, it's been the geography of Pakistan, kind of the gateway to Central Asia, that has benefited the United States the most. But with the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan coming to close, the graphic benefit may no longer have as much value as once did. And finally, the target diplomacy may have an impact on a portion of the population and could increase sentiment with those particular groups. But analysts see that there's probably very little, very unlikely to have any influence on radicals or extremists, which are people who pose the greatest threat to United States safety in the first place. So we look at what doesn't matter from Pakistan's perspective. Again, we go to the drone strikes probably won't stop time soon. So regardless of the negative sentiment or the anti-Americanism originating from Pakistan or how that grows, the United States is joining any kinds of stopping those particular excursions. However, U.S. aid to Pakistan continues to grow, continue to grow, independent of that anti-American sentiment as well. Both military and social aid have seen increases in 2013 over previous years. And then also, despite the social protests, the sense from Pakistani leaders, the high anti-American sentiment, the people of Pakistan, the leaders in the United States continue to emphasize the need to improve diplomacy between the nations. So again, the anti-American sentiment doesn't seem to have an impact on Pakistan. It's not stopping one thing they were hoping would stop most, and it's not stopping the aid the country needs, and it's stopping the United States from wanting to improve relations between nations. In conclusion, there are a number of historical and demographic reasons for anti-Americanism in Pakistan. The most immediate and impactful prescription, the drone strikes, is also the least likely to occur. And with scholars and analysts offer additional mitigation strategies, this article in this paper argues that the effort for these strategies is not equal to the benefit that they would achieve.